Alright, final review. This stuff works great. I had them in the box there. And you know what? As opposed to being impatient, do what I said before. Throw it on there, little wire brush, you know, throw some more on there, let it sit for a little bit, kind of wire it off, and then you know what? Just do a third coat, goop it on there heavy, and just let it sit overnight. I'm trying to rush this process of taking all the paint out of those heads, and again, if someone has some information to disprove me here by using acetone and letting it sit for an hour and it supposedly just falls out, I have a hard time believing that. Anyways, I got some tacks there, and you can see how sharp, when they're new, you can see how sharp those tips are. So again, it's hard to get some leverage. Just get some vice grips, you know, and just get a few of these. And when the tips start getting real dull, throw another nail in there, and you get some good leverage with this, and you can really do a good job of getting the paint out of there. Again, just let it sit overnight, and you know, spend an hour or so just comfortably picking the stuff out of there. So as you can tell, I've gotten better and better at it. You know, the first one's the 50, second one's the 54, and the last one's the 58, which I've bet to a 60. In hindsight, I'll just get a 60 next time. But yeah, you can tell I've definitely gotten much better at getting all the paint out of there. You know, still a little bit in there, but boy, it's so much better than that first one. See how that paint kind of comes out of that SM5, and you can tell the paint, you know, is getting burnt there on that F grind, and it's still pretty good. God, these things are still so hot. I mean, you put your hand here and it's almost too much. I mean, those things were just at 600 degrees, 600 plus degrees. I probably got this thing up to 700 degrees. It's hot just holding it right here. So anyways, and the second thing is, oh boy, I bet you this thing is hot. Woo! Use a better setup. Don't be an idiot like I was in the first video and think that an alignment stick is going to hold up to 600 degrees. Get a metal rod. You can go out, you know, in your yard if you want to, like a grounding rod or something like that. You can stick in the ground, or just find some way to set up a vertical rod that you can sit the head on, without you having to touch it, you know. That first one, you know, it started to get hot. I had to throw it on the brick down here, and you know, it turned out fine. These other two, I'm letting them cool down before I quench them. I'm going to let them cool down for probably an hour, and then I'll just throw them in a bucket together, and they'll be a little bit more blue than that first one, but this is about what it's going to look like, you know, when the light hits it. A little gunmetal, a little bluey, you know. Blues really do pop on it. It looks great. I went to town on that 58, man. The other ones look great. Yeah. So you'll see, they'll darken up a little bit like that first one, but they'll still have that great blue in there. So I'm super happy. Yeah, you see some other videos, don't believe the hype. Don't just dunk them in acetone for, you know, an hour and think that you're going to be able to pick all the stuff out of there. It ain't that easy. So anyways, yeah, until next time. Last video, I will put some KBS shafts in there, and you'll see them in action. Until then.